Sit in meditation. Sati is mindfulness, recollection, and sampajanya is clear awareness. We establish it continuously, like when we know the in-breath and out-breath. It is called anapanasati kammatthana. It is a neutral meditation object. We train in being skilled at it, by not controlling the breath to be shorter or longer, just to know it naturally. We feel at ease. We are at ease and we know it. We don't control the breath. Or we can add a meditation word with it. So with the in-breath, but, with the out-breath, to. We train in this to be continuous while in the sitting posture. If we are in the walking posture, with the right foot, but, with the left foot, do. The meaning of all of it is to have mindfulness in the movement of the body, in doing our work, in the kitchen, cleaning the house, washing clothes, and mopping the floor. If it's the monks, then when washing the alms bowl or eating food, we have mindfulness. It is to reduce our thoughts. If avijja, ignorance, proliferates our minds, then we have sankharas, karmic formations, of the meritorious or demeritorious side. Then it's chaotic, it's not peaceful. Even when it is about merit, that we are going to make an offering, we are going to make noodles and make food. At night we prepare the ingredients to do it, and we think and proliferate about this, and we are not peaceful as well. It is a mind object, a mood of merit, but it is still good that it is restless in terms of goodness. It has good results, but to make the mind peaceful and still has even more good results, because we can understand into the truth. So to contemplate into the bodily form, viewing it in the aspect of being not beautiful, this is a meditation method to make the mind peaceful. Or we can contemplate it on the aspect of being elements, the earth element, water element, fire element, wind element. It is all for the purpose of making our minds peaceful. In the beginning, it may be just sanya, perceptions and memories, into being not beautiful, unattractive, of our bodies on the outside, of our bodies on the inside, of other people's bodies on the outside or inside. It is the same. It is not beautiful. If we see it as beautiful, then at that time we are deluded. But it's not that we are papa, done bad karma. Lady Visakha was still beautiful, but Lady Visakha was a Sotapanna stream enterer. But it is just for us to know the truth of this bodily form, that it is impermanent, won't endure, that it must decay and break apart. It is for our minds to have wisdom. So developing mindfulness and making samadhi, concentration, firm is just to progress it towards wisdom. So contemplating to make the mind peaceful, it is the path to see the Dhamma. Or some people's characters who don't like to think and proliferate, they repeat Buddho, Dhammo, Sangho, until their mind is peaceful and still. They can be in control of the kilesas, the mental defilements, and they contemplate one more time and can have wisdom arise as well. So we train and instruct ourselves. In the beginning, we may not be able to see what there is on the inside of the body. We cut open the skull of the head, and there is the brain. There is the liver, kidneys, intestines, lungs, heart, stomach. This is inside the body. We can see it as being not beautiful, or the mind is still and peaceful. So they are all methods to contemplate to make the mind peaceful, to know the in and out breath, to contemplate the body as being a heap of elements, being not beautiful, or that in this life one has to die. These are samatha kammatthana, a method to make the mind still and peaceful, for it to gain samadhi, concentration. And we may ask then, where do we get wisdom from? If we see this body as being anicca, impermanent, dukkhang, unsatisfactory, anatta, not self. If we see this body as impermanent, unsatisfactory, not self, then wisdom arises. Our mind is still and is in samadhi like this. Here there is no living being, no person, no self, no me, no them. The peacefulness has taken control over the mental defilements, but we don't yet know the truth. We see impermanence as still a perception, not self. It is still seen as a perception of the mind. But when wisdom arises, then there is instant knowing that ignorance is currently proliferating the mind, that this person is a policeman, a soldier, a government official, but there is knowing arising instantly that it isn't so. It is knowing. This knowing is not thinking or proliferating at all. It is knowing arising. Venerable Anya Kodanya knows. There is knowing arising that rupa, vedana, sanya, sankhara, vijnana, or form, feeling, perception, mental formations, sense consciousness, is not self. There is knowing arising. Wisdom arises. One sees the Dhamma. Here you ask, is it first jhana, or what level of samadhi is it? Right then, one doesn't know. One just knows that the mind is peaceful and still, and knowing arises. One can see the truth of nature. See, not self. And this knowing, the Dhamma, is amazing. Can we see the person who walks, the person sitting, person standing, person talking, even me talking here, or you sitting and listening to Dhamma, or whatever we are doing, there is a self doing it. We are preparing food, making merit, giving alms, and there is a self. The body here is ours. But if the mind is at a good level of stillness, then we see it as being just simply so, as it is. It is a robot that our mind is supported by. It is used to build goodness. So it is just different in this regard. Whether we do it with a self, or doing it with the knowing that it isn't a self. This is the self seeing the self. We see the self. Seeing the self is to see the truth. Venerable Ajahn Chah said it in a very sharp way. Seeing that this self is not self. It is an element. It is a robot. It is not us. It is a heap of impermanence, unsatisfactoriness, not self. This is seeing the true self. But if the view is wrong view, then we see the self as being truly our self. This is wrong view. Seeing wrongly like this in Dhamma language is that this person does not see the true self. Ever since we have been born, we have only a sense of self. So we come to practice Dhamma. So we get more knowing from the teachings of the Buddha that it's not self. And it goes against and conflicts with our old feelings that we've had for a long time. How is it not a self? Pain is our self. Aches are our self. Good thoughts and bad thoughts are our self. It's all ours. When we have good thoughts, we are at ease. When we have bad thoughts, it is demerit and we suffer in the mind. We started to know that bad thoughts are a demerit. We are scared of dropping down to hell. The good thoughts are meritorious and we feel at ease. But if there are so many defilements in our hearts, then we have envy, jealousy, and we proliferate these types of thoughts. When people get better than us, we can't endure it. We think of harming others, other living beings. These are just thoughts. Those that know it already, who are practicing overcoming the bad, they don't like it. But that disliking is defilement and craving again. Can you see this? So we have to be careful. We don't want to have those thoughts. We want to have these thoughts. When the mind has anger and ill will coming up, envy and jealousy coming up, the mind is hot and we don't like it at all. This not liking it is the defilements again. So we need to know it in time, that we have thoughts like this and we let it go. We watch it. May thoughts like this end in this life. Why do we think like this? Why be jealous like this? And though we don't want it to be like that, we can't control it. The Guru Ajahns, the great teachers, the Buddha taught that we have to give this up first. We give up the bad, unwholesome states that arise. We have effort to let go of the bad that has not yet arisen. When it is currently arising, then we meditate on Buddho, Dhammo, Sangho. We spread metta, goodwill. We contemplate so that the mind is at ease, so that we don't be angry, have ill will, have thoughts of malice, not being envious or jealous, not harming others. The thoughts of harming is not samma sankappa, right thoughts. It is miccha, wrong. Thoughts of ill will, thoughts of sensuality is not right. It's thoughts that are not correct. When we have mindfulness, we let them go and make an effort to not let them arise. Doing this is walking Magga, the Noble Eightfold Path. Try to think good thoughts, right intentions, and have effort in maintaining goodness. This is a tool of the mind. It is the Dhamma, the tool of the mind that will lead our minds to seeing into simply so, just as it is, being simply form, simply nama, mental phenomena, simply the mind, simply Dhamma, simply feelings. We will see clearly, step by step, according to our strength. We have good samadhi and mindfulness, wisdom is more clearer, and we develop higher and higher. Sometimes one may see the nature of the body decaying and breaking apart. It is a nimitta, a clear mental image. Then like this, and the mind is more bright and joyous. We see people sitting and walking around as just simply people. It isn't a being, not a person, self, me or them. The mind is very joyous. We see the truth, and we don't forget it. It is in the deep part of the heart. Seeing like this, there is faith and confidence. It is firmly established. We can see all things, whether material things, combining together and decaying, breaking apart. There's nothing really there. It is the mind being above the mind objects. The path advances and the fruits arise. The mind is bright and is inwardly full, with rapture in the heart. This is the strength of the path. It destroys the defilements. The mind is radiant already. We see this. We see the truth that people being born must die. Whatever wealth in this world, even if we could take it as being ours, but having the Dhamma that we have seen here has greater, immense wealth. So we need to train so that we understand and have this seeing arise, have Buddho arise. It isn't a meditation word anymore. The one who knows, the one who is awakened, the one who is joyous. contemplating or using the meditation repetition Butto is for the mind to be joyous. When the mind sees like this, then the mind is instantly more joyous. It's like the lotus that has the sun shine on it, and the lotus blooms. We will see the Dhamma. We can be an Arya, a noble being, and this is possible for all the lay people here. This is through one's effort, determination, diligence, and the mind that is focused and with firm faith. The faith leads to interest in sitting meditation and developing mindfulness. And there are only a few people who are interested to find true happiness, of seeing self as not self, seeing the true self. Seeing self as a self is someone who is deluded in self already. So may we train in this. Here we have dana, generosity, regularly. We have sila, morality, as our basis and foundation. We develop in mindfulness and samadhi in the various meditation methods that we prefer, so that we have peacefulness. And we come to contemplate this body and mind, to have knowing and seeing arise. The sense of self then lightens continually. May you all grow in the Dhamma. May you grow in blessings.